I don't really know how else to describe it, but there's this very specific hollow feeling.
Tell me about that feeling.
It's just, it settles right behind my ribs, usually right after I finally put my phone down.
Yeah.
And it's almost always after an hour of just, well, mindless scrolling. Like,
Yeah.
for instance, last night, I literally spent 45 minutes watching a stranger in pristine beige loungewear restock her refrigerator.
Just organizing her groceries?
Exactly. She was putting perfectly aligned, color-coordinated oat milk and organic berries into these spotless, clear plastic bins. And for some reason, I couldn't look away.
It pulls you in.
It really does. I was just dragging my thumb across the screen, consuming these manicured fragments of other people's lives. But the moment the screen goes dark...
The distraction ends.
Right. And I just see my own reflection staring back at me in the black glass. There's this slight nausea.
Mm-hmm.
This restless, quiet agitation. It's an exhaustion that doesn't come from doing too much, but from somehow being, I don't know, diminished?
Diminished, yes.
And I sit there in the quiet of my room, and this question just echoes in my mind. I keep asking, why do I feel like I'm disappearing?
I can hear the weight of that exhaustion in your voice. And I want to tell you, right here and now, that you are not alone in that feeling.
It feels incredibly isolating, though.
It does.
Yeah.
But it is an intensely relatable modern ache. If you are listening to us right now, wherever you are, I want you to know that the mission of our deep dive today is to simply sit in this exact discomfort together.
We're not trying to fix it right away.
No, we are not here to fix you. You are not a problem to be solved.
That's a relief to hear.
We are here to explore how this digital landscape we navigate every single day interacts with our deepest, most vulnerable human longings.
So just making space for it.
Exactly. So if you are listening, I invite you to just take a slow, deep breath with us. Notice the weight of your body in your chair. Drop your shoulders.
Letting go of the tension.
Let go of the need to perform for just a little while. Join us in this space of self-honesty. We're going to try to discover how we can find stillness when we feel entirely overwhelmed by the noise.
I really need that stillness because performance is exactly what it feels like. It feels like an immense, crushing pressure.
It is exhausting to perform all the time.
Every time I open an app, every time I pause over a curated photo or a viral video, it feels like I am entering a quiet, desperate negotiation.
What are you negotiating for?
Well, I post something, maybe a picture of a hike or a joke I thought was clever.
Yeah.
And beneath the filter and the caption, I am silently pleading.
Pleading with the audience.
Pleading with the void, really. I'm asking, do I matter? Am I enough? Do you see me?
And if they don't respond?
If the notifications don't come or if the response is lukewarm, I feel like I simply cease to exist in the eyes of the world.
That feeling of vanishing is so common because of how we engage with these platforms. We often think of social media as a window into the world, but it really isn't.
What is it then?
We can think of it as a mirror, but it's a terrifying kind of mirror.
How so?
Imagine standing before a glass that doesn't reflect your actual face. It doesn't show the warmth in your eyes or your true smile. It can't hold your silence.
Right, it strips all that away.
Instead, it only shows you what other people think of you. It reflects their gaze, their approval, or their fleeting judgment.
That sounds awful when you put it that way.
It is polished, infinite, and entirely deceptive. It demands performance, and its underlying message is always the same. It tells you you are valuable only if you perform.
That paints such a grim picture, but it rings so true. It's like my ego is this hungry, ever-watchful thing inside me whispering, if they like this post, you are real.
Yes.
And if no one notices, you vanish. I genuinely get frustrated with myself. I'm a grown adult. Why am I so desperate for validation from people I haven't seen since high school? Or worse, total strangers.
I want to invite you to be really gentle with yourself here.
Yeah.
This craving for validation isn't a modern character flaw.
It sure feels like one sometimes.
I know. But it certainly isn't a technological glitch in your brain. In traditional Eastern psychology, this is recognized as an ancient, deeply human pattern. There is a word for it, tanha, which means an underlying thirst or craving.
So it's always been with us.
Always. The craving itself isn't wrong. It's actually a survival instinct. We needed the tribe to survive.
So the suffering isn't because of the instinct itself.
No, the suffering comes because we are trying to anchor our core worth to things that are entirely impermanent. Likes fade, algorithms shift, trends move on.
But we keep going back.
Yet we keep returning to the well hoping it will finally quench a thirst it was never designed to satisfy.
So we are essentially hardwired to care what the tribe thinks, but the digital age has put that instinct on steroids.
That is a very apt way to look at it. There is an ancient framework that talks about the 8 worldly winds.
The 8 worldly winds.
Yes, they are the conditions that toss the untrained human mind around like a fragile leaf in a violent storm. They are gain and loss, fame and disrepute, praise and blame, and pleasure and pain.
Gain and loss, fame and disrepute, praise and blame, pleasure and pain.
Okay.
Now think about your phone. A single social media feed compresses and amplifies all 8 of those winds into the palm of your hand multiple times a minute.
Wow. That is exactly what happens.
Think about a typical Tuesday morning. You wake up, check your phone, and within 3 minutes, you've experienced the high of a friend praising your photo.
Right. That's praise and pleasure.
Then the sting of a news article about an economic loss, the envy of seeing a colleague's viral fame, and the anxiety of an unread message, fearing blame or disrepute.
All before I've even gotten out of bed.
Exactly. Our brains were not built to process the village square's entire emotional spectrum before we've even brushed our teeth.
That makes so much sense. We're riding a roller coaster of micro-emotions constantly. And my ego is just sitting right in the middle of that turbulence, completely overwhelmed.
Trying to find its footing.
Trying to build a stable identity out of chaos. And constantly comparing. Like, I look at the woman with the pristine refrigerator and think, I'm not as put together as her. You use her as the standard.
Yes, I think my life is a mess compared to theirs. It genuinely makes me angry at myself for getting sucked in.
But what if your ego is not the enemy here? What if we could reframe how we view it with some compassion?
I don't know if I have much compassion for my ego right now.
Let's try. The ego is simply a survival mechanism. It was forged when you were a vulnerable child trying to figure out how to stay safe and belong in your family and your culture.
Okay, I can see that.
Imagine a small child running up to a parent, holding up a messy crayon drawing and saying, "Look at me." There's pure innocence in that gesture. The ego just wants safety, belonging, and to be seen.
It just wants to be loved.
Yes, those are necessary human longings. The tragedy isn't the longing itself. The tragedy is that we are now taking that innocent inner child, holding up its drawing, and asking for unconditional love from an algorithm.
Oh, that hurts to hear.
We are asking a cold, unfeeling machine one engineered to extract our attention and sell it to advertisers, to parent us.
And it can't.
The mirror of social media doesn't love. It only reflects, and it only compares. It cannot hold you and say, I see you exactly as you are and you are safe.
I never thought about it like that. And the sad part is, when I realize the algorithm can't love me, I don't just walk away.
What do you do instead?
I try to perform better. I start editing out the messy parts of my joy. I put a literal or metaphorical filter over my sadness.
Shrinking yourself to fit the frame.
Exactly. I crop out the uncertainty, the clutter on my kitchen counter, the ordinary, mundane moments, just to make myself palatable and shareable. And in doing that, I feel like I am exiling the most authentic parts of myself.
And this brings us to an old Zen teaching that illustrates this perfectly.
I'd love to hear it.
There is a story of a man who is being chased by a fierce tiger.
Okay.
He runs in terror down a mountainside, leaps over the edge of a steep chasm, and miraculously catches hold of a thick vine.
So he's just hanging there.
Hanging on for dear life. As he dangles there, panting and terrified, he looks down and sees a second tiger waiting for him at the bottom.
Oh, great.
To make matters worse, 2 mice, 1 white, 1 black, representing day and night, scurry out and begin gnawing at the vine he is holding.
So his time is quite literally running out.
He is in the absolute grip of existential dread.
Yeah.
But in that exact moment, he notices a single wild strawberry growing from the cliff face right next to his shoulder.
A strawberry.
He plucks it, puts it in his mouth, and deeply tastes its sweetness.
It's a striking story about finding presence in the middle of chaos. But I have to be honest with you.
Please do.
If I were that man dangling on the vine today, and I had my smartphone in my pocket,
What would you do?
I wouldn't even see the strawberry. I would pull out my phone to distract myself from the terror.
You'd numb the fear.
Yes, I'd scroll through photos of people who never fall off cliffs. People who are out there building bridges across chasms or flawlessly taming tigers in their beige loungewear.
Performing perfection.
And I would sit there comparing my trembling, sweaty hands to their perfect, steady smiles. I would completely miss the sweetness of the present moment because I would be too busy wishing I was in someone else's curated reality.
What a heartbreaking, yet deeply accurate modern translation of that story. And that is the invisible prison we find ourselves in.
It really feels like a prison.
It's not a prison made of physical walls, but an inner architecture built entirely of comparison. In contemplative psychology, there is a concept regarding the view of a fixed self.
A fixed self.
It is the false belief that we have this solid, unchanging identity that we must constantly protect, promote, and polish for the world to see.
Like we're a brand.
Exactly like a brand. We try to freeze our identity into this perfect image, curating a digital ghost with our data and our filters. We train this ghost to perform happiness perfectly.
While our real, living, breathing self is just starving off camera.
Precisely. The reality of human existence is that we are not a frozen statue.
We are a flowing river.
Always moving, always changing. Joy passes through us, sadness returns, success fades, grief arrives, life flows. But social media demands we freeze the river, take a picture and declare, "This is me, forever."
And no one can live up to that.
No one. When our living, fluid reality inevitably stops matching that frozen, manicured image we posted last week, we feel like frauds in our own lives.
I feel that friction between the river and the statue all the time. And if I'm being completely vulnerable here, it leads to an emotion I'm almost too ashamed to admit to anyone.
You can share it here. We're in a safe space.
It's envy. I look at these frozen, perfect rivers of other people's lives and I feel this toxic, ugly envy.
That's a very heavy burden to carry.
It is. It's like this monster hissing inside me asking, why do they get to have that peace or that success and not me? I hate that I feel that way toward my own friends and peers. It makes me feel incredibly small.
I want you to pause right there, because that shame you are feeling is something almost everyone carries. If you're listening, you've likely felt this exact same shame.
It feels awful.
We need a massive paradigm shift in how we view envy. We are taught that envy is an outward expression of bitterness or malice toward others.
Isn't it?
What if it isn't? What if envy is actually inward grief for a neglected need within yourself?
Grief, that sounds a bit poetic. In the moment when I'm looking at someone else's success, it doesn't feel like grief. It just feels like jealousy and resentment.
It feels like resentment because anger is an easier emotion to process than sorrow. But let's look underneath it.
Okay.
When you feel that painful sting looking at someone else, look closer at what exactly is triggering you. That colleague whose radiant confidence you resent,
Yeah.
they might simply be holding up a mirror to your own deep buried longing for self-trust. That friend's perfectly peaceful morning routine that makes your chest tight. It might be echoing your own starved desire for a moment of quiet in your chaotic life.
So it's not about them at all.
The emotion is not actually pointing outward at them. It is pointing inward at you, asking you to look at what you have abandoned within yourself.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense conceptually. Envy points to what I'm starving for. But how do I actually handle this in the real world?
Practical application is key.
Right, because understanding that envy is grief is a great realization. But in the moment, when I'm holding the phone, staring at a friend's flawless vacation photos, and that tight, shallow breathing panic of inadequacy hits me, the urge to just keep scrolling to numb out or to spiral into self-pity, it feels entirely overpowering. How do we practically break this spell?
The very first step is realizing that the physical pang of inadequacy you just described, the tight chest, the short breath, the heat in your face, is actually a gift.
A gift. It feels like a panic attack.
I know it does. But it is your own awareness knocking at the door. In mindfulness traditions, we learn that when that trigger hits, pausing becomes an act of quiet rebellion.
Just pausing.
When you feel that tightness, the instinct is to either close the app in a huff of anger or keep scrolling to push the feeling down. I invite you, and anyone listening, to do neither.
What should I do instead?
Just pause. Put a hand on your chest. Feel your feet firmly planted on the floor, and simply note the feeling without judging it.
Note the feeling.
Just say inwardly, thinking, reacting. Watch the emotion rise like a wave. Notice how it pulls your shoulders inward. Just witness it. You are stepping out of the storm and becoming the observer.
That sounds incredibly difficult. When I'm in that spiral, observing, it feels like standing in the middle of a highway trying to observe the cars hitting me. What if I can't just detach and watch it?
That's a very fair struggle, and it takes practice. If mere observation is too difficult, there is a more active, transformative tool we can use.
I think I need that.
It is based on an ancient Tibetan practice called Tonglen, which translates to sending and taking.
Sending and taking.
Usually, when we see a post that triggers our envy or our shame, our entire body and spirit contract, we pull away, we put up walls.
Right, we get defensive.
But with digital Tonglen, you intentionally do the opposite. You look at that seemingly perfect post, and instead of contracting, you consciously breathe in the unseen suffering.
Breathe in their suffering.
Yes, the hidden pain and the insecurity that inevitably exists behind that person's curated image. And as you exhale, you breathe out deep kindness and compassion for them and for yourself.
Wait, let me make sure I understand the mechanics of this. So I'm looking at the woman with the perfect oat milk fridge,
Yes.
and I'm feeling terrible about my own messy, disorganized life. You're saying right in that moment, I take a breath and try to inhale her pain. How do I do that when all I feel is irritated by her perfection?
You do it by remembering our shared human condition. You look at the image and remind yourself, why did she feel the need to arrange this so perfectly and broadcast it to strangers?
So finding the vulnerability behind the post.
Exactly. Perhaps there's an intense anxiety there. Perhaps controlling the contents of her refrigerator is the only way she feels she can control her life.
Wow.
You breathe in the reality that she too is desperate to be seen as enough. You inhale the understanding of her hidden burdens. And as you exhale, you send out a silent wish. May she feel genuinely safe. May I feel genuinely safe.
Breathing in their underlying insecurity, that completely shifts the dynamic, doesn't it?
It softens the heart immediately.
Because the truth is, beneath every single highlight reel, no matter how intimidating, is just another human being. Just like me, terrified of falling behind, aching to be validated.
Yes.
It takes this bitter, isolating competition and turns it into a moment of connection. It makes me realize that true belonging could never come from being praised for a performance. True belonging only happens when we show up raw, imperfect, and unfiltered.
Exactly. It disrupts the entire cycle of competition.
Yeah.
You begin to realize that the door to this digital prison of comparison was never actually locked.
We had the key the whole time.
You just forgot you were holding it. You hold it in your breath, in your compassionate attention, and in your willingness to put down the armor of performance.
But if I stop performing and I drop the armor, I feel so vulnerable. Is the ultimate goal here to just build up a really strong, ironclad sense of self-esteem?
Tell me more about why you asked that.
Because it feels like if I just had better self-esteem, if I just loved myself more, I could withstand all this digital noise and the judgments wouldn't pierce me.
I want to challenge that idea because it's a very subtle trap that many of us fall into. What is self-esteem really?
I guess it's feeling good about who you are.
Very often, modern self-esteem is just another form of attachment. It is an attachment to a positive story about yourself.
Oh, okay. I see.
We stand in the mirror and tell ourselves, I am worthy. I am smart. I am attractive. I am successful.
And those are supposed to be good things, right?
They are lovely affirmations. But when they harden into a rigid identity that you feel you have to defend, they become another prison.
Because I have to keep proving it.
Exactly. The moment life, or a silent social media feed, or a critical comment challenges that positive story, the foundation cracks, and you suffer all over again.
So true freedom isn't about being bulletproof.
True freedom is not about building a bulletproof image of yourself to withstand the arrows. True freedom is about seeing through the illusion of the image entirely.
So if the goal isn't just trying to feel better about myself and pumping up my self-esteem, what is the actual alternative?
There is a metaphor from the Dzogchen teachings that illustrates the alternative beautifully. It suggests that the true nature of your mind is like the vast, clear, unchanging sky.
The sky.
Yes, all of your thoughts, your fluctuating emotions, your anxieties, and yes, your endless social media feeds, they are merely clouds passing through that sky.
Some clouds are light and some are heavy.
Exactly. Some are light and wispy, barely noticeable. Some are dark, heavy storm clouds that block out the sun, like that hollow exhaustion you described feeling after doom scrolling.
Right.
But no matter how dark or violent the storm, the clouds can never permanently stain, damage, or alter the sky itself. I want to say this directly to you and to everyone listening right now. You are the sky.
I am the sky. The thoughts, the envy, the fear of missing out, they're just clouds passing through. They aren't me.
They are not you. They're weather. And realizing you are the sky doesn't mean you become completely numb and stop feeling things.
You still feel the storm.
You will still feel the rain. You will still feel the grief, the joy, the sharp sting of comparison in your daily life. But you no longer have to drown in those feelings, believing they are permanent.
You can just let them pass.
You can hold them within that vast open space. You develop what we might call the strength of softness.
The strength of softness, I love that phrase.
We shift our entire orientation away from trying to constantly repair our self-esteem. We stop asking the mirror, do they like me? Am I impressive?
And what do we ask instead?
We cultivate self-presence. We start asking a much deeper, quieter question. Am I here? Am I actually present for my own life right now?
That brings such a massive sense of relief, because honestly, the advice you usually hear is just delete your apps or throw your phone away.
And that's not always realistic.
No. And while taking breaks is great, it always felt like a temporary retreat. It felt like the goal was to run away and live in a cave somewhere so I wouldn't be triggered.
A kind of escapism.
Yes, but what you're saying is that the goal is to wake up within this modern world. It's about being present with the reality of the digital age, facing the mirror, but not being consumed by it.
I completely agree with that distinction. The path of true mindfulness is never about reaching some sterile, artificial state where nothing ever affects you or hurts you again.
We're still gonna feel it.
We are human. We will be hurt. The path is about learning how to walk through the fire without burning.
Walking through the fire.
It is knowing that every single day, in 100 mundane micro moments, you will have a choice to make.
What's the choice?
When the phone buzzes on your nightstand, when the envy suddenly rises in your chest at a red light, when the silence of your living room feels too heavy to bear. In each of those small moments, you are choosing between looking into the deceptive mirror to see if you exist or returning to the quiet reality of your breath.
Choosing between the mirror and the breath, moment by moment. It really is a lifelong practice, isn't it?
It is, a deeply rewarding one. And as we bring our time together today to a close, I want to leave you and everyone listening with a final quiet question.
Okay.
I don't want you to answer it quickly. I don't want you to try to solve it. I just want you to carry it with you into the silence of your day. Let the echo of this question linger in the space around you.
We are listening.
What would your life look like if you no longer needed a mirror to know you exist?